This is a happy show, yeah, yeah. This is a happy show, yeah, yeah. This is a happy show, yeah, yeah. This is a happy
show. Hello, America! Hi, Dave.
How you doing, Matt?
Oh, fine, fine. You see, my normal co-host is not here today, so we have Five-O the Mouse from some kind of cartoon show. He's taking, yeah. Yeah, that's right, American Tail.
And Five-O Goes West.
And Five-O Goes West, yes. Because Robert couldn't make it today. Hopefully this will change in the future. Anyway, I don't think we're going to get much talk from Five-O here, but he's just going to hang out and chill. How's things going? You said okay?
Yeah, they're going all right.
That's great. Anyway, so I got something to start off the show, but in fact, this kind of ties in with your show, Dave, because we had you had your show on the Kitchen Magician, right, on Sigicom Channel 9, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, with your host, the Kitchen Magician, Dave Johnson, the culinary conjurer of Mealtime Magic. Okay, and on this show, if I remember correctly, you said that you asked people for this poem about beans and musical fruit. You recall?
Right.
Okay, how's that go again?
Beans, magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So let's have beans for every meal.
That's a classic, by the way. Okay, because this segues into my first news item here. Actually, this is more like an urban legend, but I just thought this would be an interesting thing to bring up to the show. Just see what you think about this too, Dave, and see what the people at home, of course. Okay, it talks about this guy. I guess he's supposed to have a terrible diet, and he was sleeping in this room without any ventilation. It's like just closed in. There's no doors or windows open or anything like that. And this guy, apparently, he had a diet of let's see, it says here, cabbage and beans, primarily a cabbage and beans, and not a very good diet, I guess, and a couple of other things. I guess that would include any other kind of gassy product. Anyway, it says with the right combination of foods, apparently he died in his sleep.
No.
Yep, from breathing this poisonous, fatal combination of noxic fumes, methane poisoning. It says that he was breathing a poisonous cloud that had been hanging over his bed. That's a smelly situation there. It says had he had outside ventilation or windows or something like that, it wouldn't have been fatal. But the man was shut up in a near airtight bedroom.
That'll do it.
Yeah, killed by his own sword. Oh my God. Anyway. 3 of the rescuers got sick and one was hospitalized.
He had rescuers.
Yeah, according to this story, but it says according to the article, he was a big man with a huge capacity for creating this deadly gas. But of course, this is reported, I think, at times like it's a true news item. You might even hear, I don't know, maybe for all I know, Dear Abby has said something about this because she seems to propagate a lot of these urban legends. But it's just an urban legend. But I just thought it was an interesting thing to bring up here. And speaking, since we got our friend Five-O here, he may be interested here. Hey, are you interested to hear this? Yes. Okay. About Disney. He especially might like this because I don't think you have too much of a love for Disney, do you, Five-O? No. Okay. Anyway, no. It was Disney discovered, or Disney in 1989 discovered that these Florida daycare centers had 5-foot-high replicas or whatever, stick cutouts or whatever it was. I think it's murals, like on the wall. 5-foot murals of the different Disney characters on their walls. Now, this one's actually a true story. This is what I'm going to tell you here. Because, there's characters like Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck, all the regular standards, I guess. And apparently, they were threatening to go to court if these centers did not take down these Disney pictures. It says under the threat of legal action, it says the threat of legal action did not need to be carried out as the centers replaced the drawing with cartoon characters belonging to Universal Studios Florida and Hanna-Barbera Studios.
There you go.
Right. They volunteered the use of these characters as part of a publicity ploy. But to me, whether it's publicity or not, I thought it was kind of cool that basically giving the what for to Disney there. I mean, you know, I understand they're trying to protect their copyright infringement rights and all this, but I mean, this daycare center, I mean, these people there, they weren't trying to make money off the pictures of Mickey Mouse on their wall. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, how many people are going to, you know, go and choose a daycare center based off the fact of what cartoon characters adorn their walls? I mean, that's just not the criteria you use. So Disney, I mean, I think they're a little overzealous sometimes protecting that copyright and trademark infringement. You know, maybe I could see more of the website things where they close down the different websites and all that. I still think that's being a stickler, but I can at least understand that more. But we're talking daycare centers here, so that's kind of ridiculous. Let's see. Oh, and here's the thing. It was Important Babies Daycare, Good Godmother Daycare, and Temple Messianic. I can't say that. Anyway, apparently more of these places, all in Hollandale, Florida. But let's see.
Messianic.
Huh?
That's Temple Messianic.
Messianic? Okay.
That's like a Jewish daycare or something.
That one there might be. There's three different daycare centers. So, but you know, let's see. Disney had also just dealt a competing. Oh yeah, okay. Disney had also just dealt competing Universal Studios a severe blow in the theme park business by opening Disney MGM Studios in Orlando, Florida, several months ahead of the completion of Universal Studios' own Orlando-based studio theme park. This was back in 1989 again when this all happened. I don't know why it brings that up. I guess just to give some background. Anyway, you know, recently they had the film, you know, Freddy vs. Jason. We talked about that last week when Robert was the co-host. And have you seen that yet, Dave?
I have not seen it yet.
You haven't seen that yet, okay. But actually, I'm not going to really talk about that movie again because we've already, you know, dealt with that last week. But it does kind of remind me of another movie, and one that's, I guess, considered a classic in the genre of like monster movies, at least as far as B-movie giant monster movies. Do you remember seeing King Kong versus Godzilla, Dave?
Yes, that's my favorite shows.
Right, it was a 1962 film. I didn't realize it was that old. I knew it was in the 60s, but I thought it was more like 65. But, you know, there's been this this rumor all this time. I thought it was fact that there was 2 endings filmed for the show. Did you ever hear about that ending?
No. Oh.
Or the rumor?
This is where one of them wins, one of them doesn't win?
Right. According to the rumor, you know, there's supposed to be 2 endings filmed for this movie. There was the ending for the American audiences where King Kong was shown to be the victor of the battle, and then there's the ending for the Japanese movie, which showed Godzilla, of course, being the winner. And apparently, this is not the case. You know, that we were just told this all this time, but if you've seen both endings, let me know, because they're saying this is an urban legend too. Although the Japanese film was substantially altered in its American release, the climatic battle between the 2 titans ended with the same results in both versions: an ambiguous draw. Just as the additional footage featuring American actor Raymond Burr was integrated into the original Godzilla film to enhance its American appeal, so it was with King Kong and vs. Godzilla. Additional scenes shot by American director were added to the American version. So they're talking about, you know, this actually happened where there was footage filmed to appeal to the American audiences, I guess with American actors and the like. And so there was newer footage. In fact, this probably led to the theory that, you know, there was 2 endings to this. But anyway, it says the omission of Godzilla's roar at the end of the U.S. version certainly could create the impression to viewers that only King Kong had survived. In any case, the movie's visual ending was exactly the same in both the Japanese and American releases. Probably because Americans found it unlikely that a Japanese-produced horror film could show a quintessentially American monster triumphing over a Japanese invention, a rumor began shortly after the movie's 1964 American release that the 2 movies had a different ending than had been filmed, I guess, or they had 2 different endings. Anyway, see, it was 1964 when the American release, so maybe that's where my confusion came. So, what do you think about that, Dave?
Yeah, I think it's an urban legend. It got started and it got confused, and that's why the facts are kind of, you know, scooped.
You know, there's the other urban legend, apparently, is that 3 Men and a Baby movie. Have you heard about that one?
I think I've heard about it.
It's supposed to have the ghost in it. The ghost of a kid. And Now, I've never really watched the movie in its entirety, so I'm not too familiar with this, but I've had people I've talked to this day will still claim that that was actually a ghost in the window in this one scene when, supposedly a boy had died at the house where it was filmed. Well, it turns out it wasn't filmed at actual house anyway. It was filmed on a movie set, and that this was supposedly a cutout of Ted Danson. Ted Danson, who was one of the stars in the movie.
It's pretty spooky. You watch it. We watched it as kids to verify this, and it's really weird. There's a kid behind the curtain, and I've heard before that it's a kid standing there with Ted when he was a kid. But yeah, it looks really spooky. There's a kid behind the curtain, and the curtain looks really. When you get a chance, look at check it out. Look for it yourself.
Remember the Wizard of Oz, the whole death rumor behind that?
Yeah, the guy that got from the tree or something got hung.
Yeah, there's that rumor. Again, this is supposed. Well, I've heard it both ways. I mean, but urban legends, of course, that's it's passed along as if it was true. So I don't know how you validate this sort of thing. But they said that that was actually just like a giant bird, like a. Oh, what am I trying to think of? A flamingo bird or something, that was in the background. And that was actually... Yeah.
They want you to think.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, people really do die on the movie sets, like the Spider-Man movie, the first Spider-Man movie that's came out, a couple of years ago. One of the crew workers was on a scaffolding of some sort, and they were building, like a set piece. And, a crane hit his scaffolding or something. I forget the exact details. Or maybe it was one of those, what do you call those pickup things?
Lift?
Yeah, the lift, one of those kind of lifts. In England, a lift would be an elevator. That's just your info for the day there. But yeah, it put him, or I guess a crane hit his lift and he fell down and died. And so, I mean, these things do happen. So it's not impossible that somebody could have died on the set. But, and of course, being 1939, maybe they did cover it up. I don't know. Anyway... have you heard it? Huh?
There's a lot of deaths in Titanic.
In the actual movie?
Titanic.
Because I know on the boat there was. But yeah, I didn't know about that. Too bad Leonardo wasn't one of them. No, just joking. I actually have nothing against the guy.
Cameron was in a lot of hot water over that.
See, I didn't know that. Was that when they were filming in Mexico?
All the water scenes where a lot of people got hurt and drowned and
oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's bad stuff.
Let's see.
Lost over kind of having some complaints, people.
This might be breaking news. Are you interested in Fantastic Four movie, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, according to the September 2nd issue of the Star magazine, that's a trustworthy source. There's an article about Jessica Simpson, and the second to last sentence is that she is set to play a sexy superhero in the new Fantastic Four movie. So, pop star Jessica Simpson may be playing the Invisible Woman. Fantastic Four from Marvel Comics. Yeah. And Fantastic Four is scheduled for December of this next year. I guess that's when the release is. Yeah, they say it's still scheduled. Anyway, let's see. It says her manager and her dad just told MSN that Jessica would be playing a Marvel character in a summer 2004 movie. That could only mean Spider-Man 2 or Blade Trinity, both scheduled for that summer. Perhaps her dad was wrong about the release date, but because because Fantastic Four does sound likely. I mean, So, okay, I got something to segue into here when we're talking about comic books and such. There's Fantastic Four. They were a Marvel comic book character group. Anyway, the creator, one of the creators, was Stan Lee, and I think most of our viewing audience will know who Stan Lee is because he's the co-creator of most of the classic Marvel characters like Spider-Man, Hulk, and all that, along with Jack Kirby. Well, anyway, I just want to know, Dave, what's up with Stan Lee?
He's the best.
He's the best.
He's the best.
Yes, but here's the thing. Okay, I'm always a staunch defender of Stan Lee on a lot of issues, but what is this with him and Hugh Hefner and Pamela Anderson? I mean, it's like here in his twilight years, the guy is he's making Stripperella on is it the Spike Channel yet? Are they calling it Spike Channel? Or are they allowed to call it because Spike Lee is still suing?
I don't know.
I think they settled it out of court. I think now they can call it the Spike Channel. And, Spike Lee gets to call everything else Spike.
You see, it's already causing problems.
Yeah, it's already causing problems.
I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense.
But Stanley has worked with Pamela Anderson to create this character called Stripperella. And in this show, I guess she's supposed to be a super stripper. I don't know what that entails, but I heard some of the details she can do with her powers, and I don't know if I can repeat it here right now. But anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, doesn't his wife have anything to say to him about this? Because it's kind of like a way to end your career. How after all these successful creations and all this history, he's been well respected in the comic book community. And he's well respected to a lot of people who remember those comics fondly, whether they are currently reading comics or not. And for him to do this show, I don't know. It seems like he's getting senile a bit, perhaps, because after this news, do you know about this Hugh Hefner thing, Dave?
No.
Okay, this is true too. He's working with Hugh Hefner on a cartoon with the Playboy Bunnies.
Come on,
seriously.
Making this up.
No. It's, I guess, he's got the itch now after doing the Stripperella cartoon. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I hope to think, or I would like to think that Jack Kirby wouldn't have taken this role here, if he had still been alive for this. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Any ideas, Dave?
Well, you did mention earlier about the Fantastic Four. There has already been one movie.
Oh, yeah, the Roger Corman. Has anybody ever seen this Roger Corman movie it's like 1994, I think? 1995, somewhere in that area. You probably wouldn't have seen it officially because this thing was only released on convention tapes, because it never got a release from the studio. They made it. It's completed. It's done in the can and all that. And there was even advertisements for it on video cassettes at the time that it was supposed to be released, which might, give people the kind of idea that it was actually put out, but it was never distributed or released officially.
Was there a trailer with one movie somewhere?
Yeah, there was a trailer on a couple different cassette, rentals that you could have gotten back a few years back. I don't remember which movies they were, but yeah, they did release a trailer of this thing. But it's never been distributed or released officially otherwise. And you can see it usually when you go to comic book conventions of sorts. Almost any time you see a dealer with video cassettes, he'll have a copy. It's not official though, but they'll usually have a copy of this. I've seen a screening of it, and it's pretty bad, but it's actually not as bad as some people may have heard. It's one of those deals where the legend becomes that it's really horrible and indirect, but if it was a TV movie, it probably would have been acceptable. But here's
better than the holiday special.
Better than the holiday special. But then again, the holiday special does have Lumpy. You know what I think, Dave?
I don't know.
You know what I think? I think we should show Lumpy. Let's just show a scene with Lumpy again. That was great. I love Lumpy. I created an I Love Lumpy fan site.
You was you.
Yeah, I created a I Love Lumpy fan site. It was a simple little thing, but I just want people to know how much I care about that character.
Lumpy is loved.
Yeah, because I feel sorry for these characters that most people in movies don't like. Like Jar Jar, Jar Jar Binks. Poor Jar Jar. I mean, all he wanted to do is spread love. Like this show here, we want to spread happy and joy. It's the happy show, people. And so I was thinking, Jar Jar, he's just misunderstood. It's not hard because he talks in that kind of talk, but I just think too many people just don't understand his message. And same with Lumpy. Of course, Lumpy, he can't speak English at all, so I can understand that happening more, but anyway, and by the way, who my second favorite character is on that show? Itchy. Should we show footage of Ippy again? Itchy. That's an Ippy. That's their second cousin, I think. Yeah, let's show Itchy. Here's Itchy.
His father, Itchy.
That was cool. I love Itchy. Itchy and Lumpy.
Oh no.
But this movie, about the Fantastic Four, we're going back a little bit here with the Fantastic Four movie. It's an industry-known secret, within the comic book industry, and I guess even within the film industry, that Fantastic Four movie was never really intended to be released. A lot of the actors thought it was supposed to be released, of course, because that's why they were doing it. They wanted their work to be seen. But apparently Marvel and the New World Cinema, or whoever it was who was putting this thing together, they wanted to free up the rights so it could be sold to another company for more money, which I think Sony has it now, has the rights for this film. I'm kind of scared about this new film, Dave. This new Fantastic Four, the original script, I hear, this, like any movie, especially one that's in production, the script is under constant evolution. It's always going through changes. But the way I understand, there was Dr. Doom, the chief nemesis of the arch nemesis, I guess I should say, of the Fantastic Four. He is supposed to be the villain in the movie, and I assume he still is going to be the villain in this movie. And he was supposed to be one of the passengers in the rocket that the Fantastic Four are on whenever they get their powers. Originally, basically, the story, the original origin is that the four members of the Fantastic Four, you have Reed Richards, which is the intellectual leader, who's the scientist, and he's developed this rocket to go into space. Him with his at that time fiancee Susan Storm, which later became his wife Susan Richards, her younger brother Johnny Storm, and his best friend from college, and he's gonna be his co-pilot here because he's a pilot, Ben Grimm. They decided to go up in this rocket because the government has cut funding for this exploration into space. Now, this story was originally done at the time of the Cold War, the height of the Cold War, and so it was more of a kind of like us versus them scenario where Reed felt he had to beat the communists up into space.
When they show a clip of the comic book, you want to show people what it looks like. It's all four of them there, right? That's Reed, and on the left there, and
there's Reed Richards, the leader. There's Johnny Storm, the brother of Sue Storm, his Reed Richards' fiance.
on the floor though.
That's Johnny Storm on the floor, but he's not flamed on. And I think also in these issues that we're using for this demonstration, there's Crystal, which became an unofficial Fantastic Fourth member, or fifth member actually, but they were still calling themselves Fantastic Four. It was at a time where Invisible Woman wasn't in every issue. She was taking a break because she was supposed to be pregnant at that time.
This is classic Jack Kirby and Stanley right here.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and what's always fun about these things? Wait a minute. On the movie, let me finish up about the movie, and then we'll segue back into this. With the movie, the reason why I was bringing up the origin is because basically, like I said, it's during the height of the Cold War, and so the Reed and he wants to beat the commies into space, so to speak, and so he gets together with his friend and co-pilot Ben Grimm, and they decide to hijack basically the rocket ship that Reed Richards designed and helped build. And so basically they sneak onto a base at night with his fiance and her younger brother in tow. And they hijacked this rocket ship to go up into space. And when they go up into space, the rocket ship wasn't properly designed, I guess. I mean, it doesn't speak well of Reed Richards, but the cosmic rays penetrate the ship from outer space, these mysterious cosmic rays, giving all the people aboard, the crew members, all four of them, these special abilities, which they find about when they crash land on Earth again. Anyway, in the movie, there's talk, one of the scripts had Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, which is also in the original comic books, was a friend of Reed's from college that blamed Reed Richards for some accident that happened while he was trying to contact the other world, so to speak. Anyway, in this movie, they're still supposed to have been former friends, and they go, and he's supposed to ride along in the rocket with them and get subjected, I guess, to the cosmic rays, which gives him an ability to basically his face would change as he told lies. So it's kind of like a Pinocchio effect. It sounded horrible because in the comic books, his accent left his face hideously scarred.
It's like Dorian Gray of Dr.
Right? Yeah. I don't care for that version at all. But supposedly that script has been altered since then. It's not in use. But one thing that's fun about these old comics is the old ads. First off, let's see. This is the collect coin surprise coin packet for $1.
Is that still good? Is that still valid?
I think you can send it there. You may not get a reply, but you probably get something that is worth as much as what you could have gotten if you sent that $1 back then. Because I imagine the surprise is, what the heck? And like it's a bunch of nasty coins or whatever. But, are you shamed by your English? If so, the seminar, I guess a seminar or a book you can order. I guess helps you improve your English. Maybe I should send in for that. It says, what does a command of good English mean? It means you can express yourself clearly and without fear of embarrassment or making mistakes. I need that. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. There's a good one in here.
Sea monkeys.
I love sea monkeys, but there was no sea monkeys in here. Yes, the good old
seeds you could send off for. Or grit, that newspaper grit.
Speaking of grit, that's why I'm glad you brought that up. See right here? There's grit. Did you ever sell grit, Dave?
I didn't sell grit. My friend did, though.
See, I was wondering if anybody actually sold grit. If you sold, see, I do need that English language lesson. It could really help me. If you've sold grit, contact me. I just, the thought of selling grit just has me so excited. If you've sold grit, you can contact me at 423-6952 and tell me that you sold grit, because I want to know if anybody out there actually sold this stuff. See the number? Oh, here's what I think is funny. Enjoy an exciting, romantic, expressive look anytime. You can get a Van Dyke, you can get a mustache, or you can get sideburns.
What is this?
It's an ad where I
get a hairpiece.
Right, you can buy a hairpiece. I wonder how many 12-year-olds ordered this.
Hey, but look, all three only $6.
Yeah, all three for $6. That's a great bargain.
You got a good point. They were all kids back there reading those things.
Right.
They selling hairpieces.
Right. I mean, can you imagine what a 12-year-old would look like wearing a Van Dyke? Let's see. There was also something else here.
The ads are almost better than the comic.
Well, speaking of that sort of, ad being better than comic book here, Polaris Nuclear Sub, only $6.98.
Whoa, buddy.
I wanted to order one of these, then I could start my own mini invasion on some small European country. But yeah, its features. Okay, you want to hear the features? It's over 7 feet long. It seats 2 kids. Now, I assume this is talking about average weight, average height kids. Controls that work, so you can bomb your own country. Rockets that fire. Oh, good Lord. Real periscope. And firing torpedoes. Now get this. They have rockets that fire, and then they stress that they also have firing torpedoes. And you electrically lit instrumental panel. Can you imagine that? Dun, 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 dun. It plays music when you press a button. No, electrically lit instrument panel. But yeah, I mean, let's see, that thing, $6.98. That's a good bargain for a $6.98, don't you think, Dave?
Okay.
Rush me my Polaris Nuclear Sub. I can use it for 10 days, and if I'm not delighted, I can return it. Okay. You know what I would do? I would order it and get it, like they sent it to me. This is actually the day before, next day air and all that, so you have to really be quick with this. But I would take my sub, and I would go to some kind of little country like that, like I was talking about, and I'd bomb it, and then I'd package that sucker back up, and I'd mail it back in. Yeah, maybe it won't notice the missing missile. Maybe I'm just talking about those postage stamp, countries, so you can bomb it with these. But yeah, there's a lot of fun ads with these things. See, that's another reason why comic books are cool to pick up, especially the older stuff. The newer stuff, it's video games, all that, but you should still pick them up because it's great stuff. But these things, I mean, is entertaining just as much for the ads as anything. There's real flying models of rockets.
This looks good.
Yeah, I wonder if you can use that in conjunction with the sub. Like, you can attack them by air and sea.
I think those are actual rockets. I think those are legit. Those are like the Ertel.
Yeah. Yes, 30 exciting new kits. You could have got it for $2 back in 1969. I think it's 69.
It's falling apart then.
Yes, it is. 1969. Comic Book's new price list. There was actually, you could spend 25 cents to get a list on the comic book prices back then, which probably meant like, 2 cents for a book or something. 1,000 things you can get for free. But anyway, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can find in these old books. So if you get a chance, you should try and pick up some of these things. Every once in a while, you can actually find some at good bargain prices. Anyway.
You're addicts, kids. Start looking through your grandma's house.
Right. And I hope you enjoyed this time. Bye.
This is the end of the happy show. We're sorry, but we have to go. We have to go and run and play, but we'll see you some other day. This is the end of the happy show. We'd really love to stay, you know, but don't you cry or look that way, 'cause we'll be back for another stay.